everyone, I thought I'd just do a bit of a chat video, just impromptu. I'm sitting upstairs on my bed, I've got the cat just sat there, and I thought we'd talk about, there was a recent video upload, many of you saw it, I think it's been taken down now, and it was a little bit negative. So it was about reviewers, fragrance reviewers, that the YouTuber hated. I can't remember if he said hated or can't stand. Anyway, he brought up a lot of topics and a lot of issues, in particular things that he doesn't enjoy reviewers doing, and I thought I would just give you my little take on that. So I'm certainly not going to be discussing whether I enjoy any of these reviewers, whether I love them or hate them or anything. What I'm going to talk about is some of the issues that were discussed and how they affect me and how I go about my little tiny channel. So one thing that's come up, and it's also been coming up quite a lot just in general on Facebook and Instagram, is it seems that there's quite a few people that are not happy that fragrance reviewers get sent bottles for free to review. And I think the thing about that is it's inevitable. It must happen, and it does happen in all the other genres on YouTube and on all social media. If there's a reviewer and they're getting a few views, enough that it seems worthwhile for the company to send them products, they're probably going to do it because it's pretty much free advertising. And it's down to the individual reviewer how they deal with that. Now, I know some are very, very explicit in their communication with a company that the review will be honest, and they cannot be controlled, that once the product is with the reviewer, they will review it in any manner they see fit, which I think is great. I'm going to talk about how I deal with it. Now, I don't get loads and loads of stuff because I'm quite small, but I do get sent some things, and I have a great relationship with some of the smaller indie houses, and I have to be completely honest. I am never going to slate an indie house. I am never going to give a wholly negative review to a small independent company, and whether that's fragrance or anything else, I do not want to be responsible for even the tiniest little chink of damage to a small independent company. So you are never going to see me completely slate a perfume. Now, there are some things I get sent that I don't love, and the way that I deal with that is I will give a very technical review, the pros and the cons, and I'll just explain how it smells. We don't all have to be raving about everything all the time, and I think that's where sometimes the distinction lies, in that there are reviewers out there who will tell you enthusiastically how much they love every single thing, but some people do genuinely love everything, and I'm a bit more critical, or I'm a little bit more in touch with what I like and what I don't like, and therefore I know for a fact that generally speaking I wouldn't like a perfume with loads of patchouli in it. I'm not going to like a lot of things with oud. I'm not going to like things that have a ton of ambroxan, and I don't like things that are mega floral. These are just things I know about myself and my taste, but some people really don't have an issue with any notes or combination of notes. They generally think most things smell pretty good, and therefore they're probably easier to please. So some of that may be genuine, some of that may be that they do want to give a really positive review to maintain great relation with the perfumer. That is out of our hands as a viewer. We have to trust our instincts here, and it's not difficult to watch a few videos and get an idea of someone's taste and the way that someone deals with their reviewing. So if you were to watch my videos, you would notice that sometimes I can be really excited, and if I say to you that I love a fragrance, I genuinely love a fragrance. If I give a more balanced review and just explain how the fragrance smells to me, the pros and the cons, you can probably gather that it's not my favourite thing that I've smelt for a while. And I do think it is all taken a little bit too seriously. This is just fun. This is just a hobby. We're all into our fragrances, whether we watch reviews, whether we make reviews. We are free to make our own decisions. We are free to research via every option available. So we don't just have to watch reviewers on YouTube. We don't just have to read reviews on Fragrantica or see what people are saying on Instagram. There is a whole ton of information out there on the World Wide Web, and of course you can get samples and make your own opinion before you make a purchase. So I do think that when it comes to reviewers getting free bottles, it's inevitable. You can't stop that from happening, and if you stop watching those reviewers, you're just going to be limiting what you see, because every time a reviewer has a little bit of success, is getting a few views, there's not going to be many that turn down a free bottle or free samples, because to carry on reviewing fragrances and to give our viewers a lot of choice, we need to keep smelling new stuff. Otherwise, if we only review the few fragrances that we own, I say a few, there's a lot of reviewers out there that own hundreds and hundreds. Myself, I'm not sure, I haven't counted for a while, but I probably own about 50-ish bottles and tons of samples and decants. So I do have enough in my collection to keep reviewing, but to keep it fresh and to bring you reviews of the latest things and the things that are getting hyped, and that's another point, is from this video, the reviewer was not happy with the hyping up of certain fragrances, or in general hyping of fragrances. The thing is, as a reviewer, to try and be interesting to people, to try and get them to click on your videos, you do have to kind of go with some of the trends and some of the hyped fragrances. If everyone's talking about the latest Creed fragrance, then it's natural that I'm going to want to try and get hold of that and review it on my channel. And also, it's my own personal desire to smell the latest thing. Everyone was talking about Pacific Rock Moss way back when, last summer. It was getting so much hype, it was ridiculous. I think that was started by Demi Rawling. And I really wanted to try that fragrance because of how much hype it was getting, because I wanted to see for myself, is it that great? As it happens, I thought it was mediocre. I thought it was pleasant, nothing wrong with it, but it didn't deserve the hype, and that was that. But I wanted to satisfy that curiosity myself, and I wanted to share my thoughts with the people that are kind enough to watch my videos. So hyping is going to happen when there's a brand new fragrance, when there's a lot of talk. Sometimes the hyping is just because the fragrance company is sending out a ton of free bottles, and we see that happen all the time. Once again, as a viewer, you have your own free will and your own open mind. If you're seeing a load of reviewers all of a sudden reviewing the same fragrance, you can pretty much be sure, and most reviewers should tell you, that they got the bottle for free, and you can pretty much guess that they did anyway. Now, I have decided, because of this recent video, I'm going to try and be a little bit more open. I generally do say in my video if I got the bottle for free or the sample for free, but sometimes it probably gets lost. Not everyone watches everything. So from now on in my descriptions, I am going to tell you the source of my bottle or sample, just so that you can make your own mind up as to whether you think I might be biased or not. I always try to be honest, but as I said, I'm never going to completely slate an indie perfumer, because that to me is harmful. But if I really don't like something and I can't find anything to say about it, I will probably just not review that product. Now when it comes to designer fragrances, I will let loose, because I'm not going to do an iota of damage to a company like Dior or Gucci if one or two people decide not to purchase because of my opinion. That is nothing. It's not even a drop in the ocean to these massive companies. So I have no worries or qualms at all about slating a product from a large international company. So you will see the odd negative review on my channel when it comes to the larger companies. Another thing that came up in this video that we're talking about is thumbnails, these catchy thumbnails with sort of big words and pictures and funny expressions, etc. What can I say about that? I wish I had the ability to make really great fun thumbnails. I have no issues with that whatsoever. I was getting a little bit of help from Dan with the odd thumbnail. So my thumbnails are going to be fairly simple, but that's only because I'm not very good at making thumbnails. I have no problems with funny, crazy, weird thumbnails, and I don't really see why anyone else would. Sponsorship, sponsored reviews. Now this is something I've not been privy to. I don't think I have enough reach. My channel is very small. That is not an option that I've been given so far. If it was, would I take it? Paid to make a video? I think it would depend on the company that was approaching me, and I would definitely be doing a full disclosure on the fact that it was a paid for sponsorship, and I think most reviewers do. If there's anything going on out there where people aren't disclosing that it's a sponsored video, I'm pretty sure that's in violation of YouTube rules and very risky business. So certainly I hope that that's not going on and that everyone is being open about that, and I would certainly be open about that. And I would be a bit picky, because my reputation means more to me than a few £100 for a video that everyone can see through. I think you can usually tell when someone is just saying the words that they've been told to say, repeating the marketing garb, etc. What I think is more okay is things like Notino and Fragrance X, and the companies offer a variety of different fragrances, and if that reviewer is able to choose the fragrances they talk about, then you're still getting their chosen fragrances in the list that they're doing. So I think that that's okay myself. So I think my final thoughts on this is that we are all free to scroll past the videos that we're not interested in, and we can click a button if they come up in our feed. There's 3 little dots that are on the top right hand of the thumbnail. You can click that and say not interested, and that should prevent the videos from that person coming up in your feed. Job done. It's just like when you see something on Facebook and you don't like it, just scroll past. If you don't like the way that a person communicates or presents themselves, or if you don't like the fragrances that they're talking about, then it is simply a case of scrolling past. There's no need to take it so seriously. There's no need to get offended. If you don't like it, move on. There's tons of us. There's absolutely tons of us, and we all offer something different. We all have our faults, and we also have our plus sides, I think. So keep your mind open. Remember, it's just for fun, and let's keep on smelling what we love to smell, talking about it, communicating, and taking pretty pictures of bottles and chatting, making friends, enjoy sharing our hobby, and let's just forget the negatives. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I will see you in the next one.